Hey, I'm Woody Jacobs, Mayor of the City of Cullman. I'm glad to be able to read to you today, and my story for the day is Fireman Goofy. So I'm going to get started and go ahead and read. One afternoon, Mickey Mouse headed to the fire station with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They had offered to decorate an antique fire engine for the town day parade the next morning. Uncle Donald is working on a top-secret parade float, said Louie. He won't let us see it. Don't worry, Mickey answered. Our engine will be the pride of the parade. Mickey and the boys arrived just in time to see Goofy slide down the brass pole in the middle of the fire station. Hiya, gang, Goofy said. Goofy is a junior volunteer just like me, Mickey explained. It must be hard work being a firefighter, Louie said. It sure is, Goofy responded. Do you remember when the hotel caught fire? We had to rescue about 20 people. I even saved Mr. Porter's parakeet. Gosh, Goofy, said Mickey. If I remember right, the firefighters rescued the parakeet. They just gave it to you to hold. But I was a big help, Goofy said. I found Mrs. Porter and gave her back her bird. I'll tell you another story, boys, Goofy said. A couple of years ago, there was a big fire in the park. I rushed into the forest, and we saved the woods from burning to the ground. I remember that night, said Mickey. It was cold. You and I passed out blankets to the campers. I don't remember doing much more than that. Goofy looked embarrassed. Why don't we get started on the fire engine, he said, changing the subject. Mickey and the boys agreed. While Mickey polished the engine, Goofy gathered the decorations. Finally, the fire engine was ready. Everyone headed home. They could not wait for the parade. The following morning, the whole town turned out to watch the parade. The boys' fire engine led the way, with Mickey at the wheel. We're sure to win the blue ribbon for the best float, said Huey. He looked back over his shoulder. Uncle Donald's float doesn't stand a chance. Donald's float was just behind the fire engine. He had mounted a spaceship on his old truck. Get a good look, Donald shouted to the crowd. My float is going to send the judges to the moon. As Donald drove the wobbly rocket down the street, sparks flew everywhere. Suddenly, the rocket caught fire. Mickey pulled to a stop and Goofy hooked one of the fire engine's hoses to a hydrant. Then he began spraying Donald's float with water. Before long, the fire was completely out. Later, during the awards ceremony for Best Float, the mayor asked Goofy to come forward. He thanked Goofy and shook his hand. Then he gave him a medal that said Hero. Goofy smiled as the crowd cheered for him. He was a real firefighter at last. Good night, guys, and sweet dreams.